tech startups, African Americans make up less than 1%.
Wow.
And so how do we change that dynamic? And so we started, like I said, last year. Well, the idea we looked into it several years ago, and we just kind of toyed around with it. But last year we received funding to launch this edit initiative where we can, we kind of came up with this theme where it's not, when we look at why we're not in the tech startup space, it's not for a lack of innovation. Like, you know, it's that old saying that necessity is the mother of all invention, right? When it comes to necessity and innovation and ideas, our community got ideas for days. That's what we do.
We've done it for years.
So, but oftentimes we're not active in these spaces because we don't know what to do with those ideas. And we don't have the resources, we don't have the training, we don't have skills, but we don't have the tools so that we can excel with all these different ideas that we can actually innovate in these spaces. And so we kind of came up with this idea, well, what happens if we pump all these resources in our community? We provide the training, we provide the resources, we provide the contacts, the mentorship, all of that. Can we change the dynamic and how and who is participating in tech startup spaces or tech-based business? I won't just say tech startups because any kind of tech-based business is kind of what we're looking at. And how do you techify an existing business, right? And so just getting our community to engage more in that space and seeing themselves as players in that space.
That's very interesting. So you're saying that you guys don't just, I didn't know that. You guys aren't just only focusing on startups. You guys are actually enhancing things in the community and businesses in the community to make them more, you use the word techify?
So our focus is mainly on startups, but we realize that there's a lot of people who have existing businesses or skill sets that can flourish if they understood how to leverage tech for those ideas. And it's like, you're operating here, but you could be here.
You got
really understood.
Fred Sanford driving the whole time, give them a GPS and I'm with you
and then see where you go.
Okay, so this edit, the edit is actually a 10-week program.
Yes. So the way edit is set up, it's a 10-week program where we take you through the first 5 weeks. We take you through what's called design thinking, right? Which is basically exploration, like of the So first of all, let me back up. Edit, we try to focus on social entrepreneurs. So we're really interested in entrepreneurs who are who have ideas of transforming their community.
I noticed
right?
that.
So it's more about how do I, like, you've lived in your neighborhood and in these communities your whole lives, and you've seen things and you have ideas of how to improve things. And so, like, how do we help those entrepreneurs is really our main focus. Again, we're open to everyone, but that's our main focus.
That's what I want to ask you about. Why did you guys do that?
Because again, like,
that was a question I had.
Because we're really passionate about the pipeline, right? And so if you're taking the ideas that you have and you're enhancing your community, and now the other generations in your community, younger, older, etc., are seeing that, they're now becoming participants in that, and they're benefiting from that, right? And so it's just, again, like that perpetual pipeline of creating this holistic community of people, of our people, taking a very different angle in how we participate in tech.
Right, and I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, you said that we are less than 1% of the tech industry.
Yeah, and that venture funded. So when you, like, basically when a company is at a particular level, they tend to get like investors and things of that nature. So when you think about companies that are thriving and are getting investors, especially in like the Silicon Valley area, where it's kind of like, you know, the tech mecca, we're about less than 1%. And that number is shifting in terms of different strides in different places, but it's still a dismal representation.
Right, with 13% of the country. Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about mentorship.
Yeah.
And can you just talk about mentorship in general, and then the part that it plays with the edit program?
Yeah. So, well, back up. I didn't finish explaining to you about the edit program. I started and got distracted. So, like I said, it's a 10-week program. The first 5 weeks is we take you through the process of understanding your idea. So what is the issue? What's the problem you're trying to solve? Because if you start a business and you don't really know what problem you're trying to solve, you're going to be pulled in lots of different directions. And so that's when you have a business that they got soul food, they got rims, and they got, you know, like all this other stuff happening in one space, and people don't really know what's their go-to. So what is the problem you're trying to solve? Who's your customers? Who's your stakeholders? Who does that problem impact? Do they see themselves as part of that problem? So we take you through the whole process of dissecting that, so you understand, like, your business, like, for real, like in terms of, before you can create a solution, you need to understand what that solution is trying to solve. And so that's the first half of it. In the second half, we take you through Entrepreneurship 101, using what's called the Lean Startup process, which is before you invest a whole lot of energy, money, and time and effort into this business, let's figure out some things. Is it profitable? Like, if you can't make money off it, it's a hobby, not a business, right? Is it feasible? Is it going to take you like 10 years and $10 million to launch this kind of a company, right? Is it like, so answering some different questions in terms of the financial, the structure, the, you know, the tools and resources it's going to take to launch this business before you drop $1 on it, right? Like,
so before,
so before you rent out a building and like, you know, sell clothes, like sell it at like, you know, a t-shirt at like a flea market. If no one buys one there, no one's going to buy it before you invest a whole lot of money. And so the whole process of understanding what is it going to take your business to be successful before you invest that money. And so that's kind of what the 10-week program is about. But
so it's not just focused on science. It's not just focused. You guys are actually doing the work of preparing.
Yeah,
the community.
It's building your business in the program.
Right. It's
so
like a business seminar.
A little deeper than that. By the time you leave our program, our hope is that you launch your business and you have your tech in hand. Because once we realize what the solution is and it's a viable solution, we don't expect you to have tech experience. And so that's why we're based in the computer science department. We use our students in the department, and they help build the tech for you, or with you, shall I say. And you basically come up with the idea of what you wanted to do in the problem, and they help actually do the development and design work of the tech. So you leave the program with your business launch and your tech in hand.
That is amazing. So you guys are really stepping in and helping where we needed the most as far as trying to accomplish this. Yeah,
because we have a lot of skill sets that, you know, it helps us too, right? Because our students get experience building practical applications. So not just like homework assignments and great stuff for class, but their resumes get boosted by saying, hey, I graduated, but I built this technology that is now going to market, or that's being used in this company, or, you know what I'm saying? So they're even competitive. So it helps on both ends.
Right, so the students benefit.
Yep.
The community benefits.
Yes.
So in turn, possibly, even the economy will benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's pretty awesome.
And like I said, it's all about the pipeline.
Yeah, everybody, exactly, just closing that gap. So I really think that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about, now can we talk about mentorship? Are we good there? Okay,
yes.
Cool. Let's do that.
So mentorship is very important to everything that we do, just because there's no sense in reinventing the wheel.
Right.
And so learning from the people around you who've done it before, who either have been exposed to certain things or tapping into their networks, is social capital is really big, right? So I know 10 people, them 10 people know another 10 people, right? And so especially if those people are at the level that I want to get to, they give me access to things and knowledge that I can either spend a lot of time and a lot of mistakes and a lot of money figuring out, or I can just have a conversation with them, and they can help me bypass a lot from just what they've learned, and that benefits you immensely. So mentorship is huge in terms of
you don't have to experience yourself to learn. You can learn from others.
Right. Do you have to get burned to know the stove is hot?
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about because you guys only been doing this a year, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about last year and any success stories from there?
Yeah, so last year we started, we had about, by the time we wrapped up, we had about 8 companies that are being built out of the program. It ranged in terms of, we ended up with all women at the end, because people had life issues and, you know,
Understood.
Everyone can't sustain, but we all women. And it was really interesting because we had like several people of the community, like they range in age. We had like 70-year-old grandmothers with flip phones launching tech-based companies, right? Like
Granny.
Super, like, right.
You do your thing, Granny.
Don't underestimate her, their ability to, and which, was really interesting in terms of how the program operates.
That is so awesome and good to see. I mean, I can't say it enough.
Well, it's pretty cool because they have all these life skills, and especially in our communities, they're the ones who've been here the longest, and so they have a very different perspective in terms of the needs of the community, and they bring that to the table. So they might not speak tech, but they understand the problem, and to us, that's more important.
They know the need that they see it. I mean, who else? That's.
But one of our entrepreneurs that came out of the program last year, the program wrapped up at the beginning of the year, and within a few weeks, she got her first investor.
Nice. So
To
congratulations.
Yeah.
So can you talk? Is it cool to talk about what her business is? Or if you're not, that's cool. I mean, I'm just curious.
I would prefer them to.
Oh, they haven't launched yet.
Okay, talk about their businesses.
That's fine. Can you talk a little bit about you talk about it being a 10-week program and that type of thing, but I asked you this off the air about high fidelity prototypes.
Yeah.
What part does that play? What that is first, if you could, and then how does that play into edit?
Okay, so yeah, high fidelity prototypes, or prototyping in general, is just a way for you to see basically functionalities or test out functionalities of a technology or any kind of design before you invest a whole lot of time and effort. So like kind of a low fidelity prototype would be like a paper prototype, right? Okay. So say for example, I want to design an app. Instead of, me getting a whole bunch of people and spending a lot of time, developing it or writing some software and code, I can draw it on a sheet of paper and I can like, hey, when you press this button, turn the page. It's like comic book style, right? This happens, right? And then if someone be like, well, why does that happen? It's like, yeah, that's a good question. I can scratch that out and I can redo it, and I haven't wasted a whole lot of energy and resources in terms of programming. So I get to kind of figure out some of the nuances. High fidelity prototype is kind of taking it another level. So for example, like using that same app example, say for example, my app has like 10 like super awesome features in it. But before I build all of that, say I build, a functioning app, but it only has like 2 of the features, right? And the other stuff isn't quite in there yet.
You can still test and get the results you need.
And I can kind of see like how that works before I kind of, go hard in. Because the worst thing to do is to spend a lot of time doing something and realize you messed up from jump, right?
Like you say, you don't got to touch the stove then.
Right.
Okay, real quick, before we get into, because we really want to focus on contact information in just a minute. Mm-hmm. But can you talk a little bit about Coded, just what it is? And I know it's over now, but
yeah. So, like I said, CASE is our signature our head program, and under it we have Coded and we have the Edit program. Okay. Coded is where we focus on our younger population, kind of introducing them to not just tech, but people that do tech, right? So there's lots of programs in town that kind of have, your coding camps or some kind of science, STEM related opportunities.
STEM?
But
STEAM?
STEAM is
I know STEM.
STEM with arts.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's kind of, we're trying to do a whole lot of overlap with all of our disciplines.
I wasn't familiar with that. I never heard that one. That's good.
Yeah, so you have a lot of different opportunities to get interactive with that. With Coded, what we want to do is not just them interacting with, learning like, all these different things about programming, coding, and all the opportunities, and making it a fun experience. So it's basically like a one-day camp where you're kind of learning how to either build not necessarily build a robot, but like learn to do some programming and kind of see something come alive in one day, right? So everything from sitting down to learning some basic codes to actually see your program or your artifact like do some really cool things. But it's not just that, but it's also the people that are leading it. So like I said, our team is predominantly African American, PhDs. We're majority of our team has attended, historically black colleges and universities. Mm-hmm. And so these are the people who are interacting with the community, with these kids, and it's like, and oftentimes the kids always ask the same question, like, I can do this? Like, when I grow up, I could do this? And we're like, yeah, why not? Like, we're doing it. And we're, we once were where you are. And so trying to, like, build that imagery, into that. Yes, exactly.
Imagery is so important. That's why, that's why Black Panther's the #1 movie
exactly.
in the country.
Perfect example.
You guys, I'm sure you guys familiarize them with what you said with different notables in the industry already, like Neil Tyson and other kind of. Is that something you just said?
No.
So you saying you guys introduced the kids to
coding? So like,
no, I mean to different scientists as far as you guys is who they meet.
No, like they interact with our team, so they're just seeing people that look like them who are not that far removed from them doing the same thing. Yeah, I talk about that.
No, you're fine. So hey, I want to really. First of all, you guys are located on Waldo Road, right?
So our Edit program is held out of the UF East campus off of Waldo Road, across from Takachala.
Right. Got it right here, 2046 Waldo Road.
Yes.
Right. And how do we apply? How do the guy listening to the interview right now who wants to be a part of this?
So Edit starts actually tonight, but we're still taking applications throughout the week. And you just go to our website, wedocase.org. And that's just WEDOCASE.org.
Okay.
And the applications are in there. And you just send an application and you're in.
Quick question. I'm listening to this interview at 4:46. I really want to be a part of this, but I got to work tonight or something. Is there any way I can still be a part of it if I miss tonight?
Yep, just show up Thursday. Fill out the application. Our number's on there. Give us a call, but you can just fill out the application, and we'll have you ready in for Thursday.
Can you give the website again, please?
Yes, it's wedocase.org.
Okay, cool. And that's how we go. We go there to apply.
Yeah. You'll see edit application, the link for the edit application on there. And it's really basic. We just kind of want to know, like, your name, contact information, and your ideas. Just kind of want to see what you're thinking about to make sure it's something that, you know, we can kind of help you develop and explore into. From that, you'll probably get a phone call from one of us to kind of make sure we have a good grasp of what you want to do.
All right.
And that's the basic.
That is so awesome.
And it's a totally free program. All we ask for is your time.
Awesome. Yo, thanks again, Dr. Wanda Eugene, the Executive Director of CASE. And hopefully, yeah, and I mean, hopefully we can definitely hear more about some more success stories later, or just anything you guys are doing in the community. We'd love to have you come on and talk about it in the future if that's possible.
Definitely.
So hey, don't go nowhere, y'all. Keep it locked right here, WNBT 90.1 FM The Beat. It's your boy Jerry Jerkins right here with Dr. Wanda Eugene from CASE. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Keep it locked. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for coming by.